At the beginning, coloring sucks. You know what? This shit, I'm not gonna color. It's difficult. I can't blend it. I cannot find the right colors. I feel you. Hello fantasy cartographers, welcome back to another episode. In this video I want to show you the next step that we should do after adding the forests and talk a little bit about the coloring. So basically in my mapping steps we start with the coastlines and we follow up with mountains and then we follow up with rivers and lakes. After comes the forests. So the next step is to add things that are outside of all of them. We can also call them natural points of interest. For example, if you want to add a cliff, we can add it now. Let's go to cliffs. And one thing though, because there is no best way of making maps, you can change things here and there. On every step, you can go a little back, you can go a little forward, like you can do some adjustments on the mountains, you can remove some things. Just try not to get lost by deleting and remaking everything. In our case, for example, we could also add the cliffs after we added the mountains because they are related. They are both topographical things. Or if we wanted to have maybe a swamp, we could add it while making the rivers and lakes. Perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with it. When we do it this way though, the idea just goes, let's add the main things, generic things, and then add some spice to it, add some colors to it with non-generic things. So it can be carcasses, it can be a boiling lake, something entirely unique, so that the mind can focus more easily and separate the steps. Considering that the map is so small, I'm not gonna add anything extra. When we extend the map and repeat the process, cliff there, that's it. I'm perfectly fine with it. If you want to add volcanoes, adding volcanoes is really nice when you do it while making the mountain ranges, because generally they are related to mountain ranges. Of course, some of them you can find very separated from any range. In general though, they match better realistically with mountain ranges. So if I were to add some volcanoes, I would do it when I'm making the mountain ranges. After those major ones, add the natural interest. And when it comes to the coloring, remember I told you that we will use coloring to guide us. I want to show that better on when we are working the bigger map. But I want to prepare ourselves for coloring and maybe do a little bit of coloring here. And I want to mention two things. At the beginning, coloring sucks. You may find it really difficult and you may think that, oh, you know what, this shit, I'm not gonna color. It's difficult. I can't blend it. I cannot find the right colors. I cannot pick the right colors here. It looks ugly. I feel you. But just because it is ugly at the beginning, don't think that non-colored maps is what you should stick with, because you never know. If you could maybe achieve some good coloring, maybe you would enjoy the colored maps more. And technically speaking, people are interested more in colored things than just pure papers. In general, having colors on the map will make that pop up more compared to the other maps and will get more attention. So therefore, I would like to tell you, please learn and practice coloring. It takes time. Creating your own palette is really difficult at the beginning. But please do spend time on it. I also got you covered about that. I will share you one thing. It's called Hour of 5. I mean, I don't know what's the latest option. I didn't update it for many years, to be honest. You can find it on cartographyassets.com. For beginning the coloring, this can help you a lot. It will never cover all your needs, but it will give you a generic idea of how coloring can be. And when you don't find the colors here not nice, you can practice changing them and you will need to add more colors. Like for example, there's no purple here, and if I wanted to have a purple forest of mushrooms, I would need to add it, right? So this is a really good starting point. I would like to share that, and we can also use it now so that you would see how easier it can get to color the map if you have a brush. I'm also planning to make my own brush, like from my maps, though I don't know how to add it to Wonderdraft at the moment. I will learn that. For example, add it to the mountains. See, already nice. And I choose the color for the trees. I think they're nice at the moment, so I'm not gonna change it. But if I were to change it, we could go with something like this, for example, something like this, maybe something like this. Like you have many options here. You can also blend them. I'm not going to blend them now for the sake of this first map being simple, but when we extend, I'm also going to teach you. So we go step by step, guys. Don't worry, I'll cover as much as I can. So let's also color the ground. Let's go with this one here, just like that. Just, you see, keeping it simple and not adding detailed colors and not changing much. Quick, careless strokes, just like the coastlines. Otherwise, if you try to do nice coloring in your first shot, you still can. I'm not saying you cannot, but it might kill your motivation because of the difficulty. So you see, that's it. Already colored a bit, pops more now. And let's also play a little bit with the coastlines and make it darker like that. Change the freshwater color to this because I want to, we are beginners, right? So let's use practical things. I will go with this. See, it's gonna look much nicer now. Change the style, dash pattern, change these. A tiny bit of time, my map already catches more attention. For water, we can also add a bit more color to it. Yeah, I like this. Let's change the coastline color also. See, guys, I just did a little bit of clicks here and there. So play with these themes, find easy ways to color the map. It doesn't have to be so difficult. You don't have to go with lots of shading and lots of things to start learning how to color it. But as you can see, I think this proves that even just a little bit of effort is gonna make it pop more compared to a non-colored map. So you don't feel any worries about the color. Don't worry, I'm also gonna show you more coloring options, like different things you can do to color the map. But yeah, for the sake of this being like beginner friendly, I will stop here and repeat what we covered in this video. We learned that we're going with the major steps: coastline, mountains, rivers and lakes, forest, and then we're adding natural points of interest. When you follow this structure, it makes the process really easy. At any moment, depending on the size of your map, you can start applying the colors just like we did here to plan the map and to pop it more to make it nicer. And after this step, what we will do is we will start adding structural places, major structures. So that means the capitals, cities, forts, and etc. And after that, we will apply the same understanding to the structural things. So we will add points of interest that are handmade. So if you like the steps so far, if you think this is helping you, please make sure to like, support, and give me some feedbacks. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.